punching a 17-year-old in the head, then threatening him with a gun last summer. The teenager told police he was hit 12 to 13 times and that those blows left a knot on the side of his head. Eddie House is still with us. Eddie, you have 11 years of NBA experience and a championship under your belt. If you were Ja's teammate, what advice would you have for him?
I would say slow down, young man. You got the world in front of you. Nike gave you a signature shoe. They don't really give everybody signature shoes. You have an opportunity to, which you already have, but to really, really have generational wealth and set up everybody in your family. I know sometimes it gets, I would tell him that everybody sometimes can't come with you, right? And it has nothing to do with the fact that you dissing them or you don't want to be a part of them. But if they can't grow with you and understand and don't put you in harm's way, then those are people that you need to kind of let go. That doesn't mean that you can't ever talk to them or things like that. But when you start moving the way you're moving and start building the brand the way he's building his brand, you have to do it in a certain way. We've seen what Nike will drop you, right? We've seen them drop Kyrie, and I'm not comparing this to the Kyrie situation. I'm just saying that regardless, if you are doing something that's going to bring negative light to that business, then they will definitely get rid of you and cut ties with you. So you got to be very careful when you are building your brand and working with high-end companies and having opportunities to do special things, because again, there's other players and they'll look at it like, well, okay, this is not worth the risk. I'd much rather deal with somebody that I don't have to really worry about. So it's not about being fake and turning your back on your partners and nothing like that. Because if they're your real, true partners, then they understand that you're growing and they're with you anyway. So they should be building with them. For example, the same way like LeBron James did. He put himself with great friends that wanted to build a business together, and they grew in that light. And so that's what I would tell him. I would tell him that. And on top of that, I have a story that, for example, you don't want to get perceived. The perception is everything. And if you start getting this jacket, it's hard to shake. And when I was a rookie, I went to Miami, money in my pocket for the first time, girls liking me and all that stuff. So I was out all the time. I was kicking it. And Pat called me in his office, and I never forget it. And he sat me down and he was like, hey, listen, you do not want to get the reputation of being a runner. And I didn't know what he was talking about. He was like, yeah, always out in the streets, running the streets all night, chasing girls and doing all the things. He's like, I know everything that goes on, and I know that you're out all the time. You don't want to get that jacket on you, because once you get that, it'll be hard to shake. Now, he could have let me just fall on my face, and I love him to death because he didn't allow me to do that as a youngster. He called me in. I changed my ways. He really taught me how to be a true professional. So it takes people like that, So if he's listening, I hope he heard that message, and I hope he has people around him that's helping him out as well.
See, it's for me, I wouldn't offer him any advice, because they're part of the problem, because they want to protect that they're hard. They want to go along with their gangster. They consider themselves whoop that trick. They like that. So I'm not going to tell him anything, because here's the thing, Skip. He's been in the league 3 or 4 years now. Either one or two things have happened. Either he's not getting good advice, or he's not listening to the good advice that he's been receiving. So ain't nothing I can tell him now, because he's hell-bent on doing it his way. So I just got to let him bump his head and just see it hurt for himself, because I've tried. Like Eddie said, everybody's not meant to go. Like, they're 17-year locals. They only come 17 years. Sometimes you have friends. They only last 5 years. Sometimes they only last 10 years.
I agree.
Sometimes don't be afraid to let friends go that's been in your life for 20 years. Let them go.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Perry says, hey, sometimes they're like boosters on a rocket ship. Skip that, take you up to so high, and then the rockets fall off. That's as high as they can take you. That's the elevation.
That's a good analogy. I agree.
That's it.
Yep.
Ja. They can't take you any higher. Let them go. He gave you a great example. LeBron, Rich Paul, Randy Mills, Maverick Carter.
It is a great example.
You see what they did, Skip?
Yep.
Ain't none of them packing. Ain't none of them pouring no triple beams at nobody. Ain't none of them hard. They said, we going to grow a business. We going to grow an empire. And look what they were doing. You got Clutch Sports, you got Spring Hill, you got Randy running the day-to-day, the chief of staff operation.
Yep.
Look what they've done.
I mean, Maverick Carter is a dynamo on Madison Avenue as well as in Hollywood. How blessed is LeBron to have those friends?
Thank you.
Because you can trust those friends, right?
I got that thing on me. I got that stick. I got that tool. I'm packing. What is that to say? You got $200 million, Skip. You got $200 million contract from Memphis Grizzlies. You got a signature deal. You took over the signature shoe that they dropped Kyrie for.
Yeah.
You got Powerade just ran, and they about to run another one, Skip. When they say the NCAA tournament come around, he was going to be going to be out. We don't know what's going to happen, but a prominent feature in that.
Yeah.
And come on, Ja, you got so much. I need to have somebody, Skip. You got to have we got to be equally invested. If you only lose $10, I lose $200 million. That's not equal.
Yeah.
We got to lose something together, Skip, and that's what I want. Bro, come on, Ja. You better than this, Ja. I know you know better. I know you're a smart young man. I know you are. I know somebody's done giving you some advice. Say, Ja, you moving too fast.
Yeah.
Bro. You got to change this.
You know, the other point about this is that you and I haven't discussed. We always talk about the advantage of having a two-parent home. Well, he did.
Yeah.
And his dad is like everywhere at every game.
At every game.
And you saw him at the Laker game.
I did.
Okay. Well, you even got that going, but that doesn't seem to help at all, right? I don't know if could you say he's actually enabling this, like he's part of the.
It's almost like they have more like a brother-brother relationship because it's not.
I agree.
And so, like I said, I mean, Skip, it's hard. It's hard to tell your child when your child is the provider. So you really look, and I know. Look, I'm very fortunate. My grandma didn't care. He's like, baby, I raised you. I talk to you any kind of way I want to.
Yeah.
I'm like, Granny, you can't talk to me. She said, yes, I can. And so you have to, I think, and Eddie, you could attest to this.
Yeah.
You know, when you become the provider of a family, Skip, they move differently. They don't say the same thing. They don't talk to you the same type of way. They kind of walk on eggshells and handle you with kid gloves because they know their livelihood is dependent on you.
That is correct. Yeah. So, Eddie House, back to you. You have three sons. One is now playing at New Mexico at a very high level. I think he's averaging about 17 a game. You have two younger sons. What is your constant message to them? How have you tried to raise them? What advice have you constantly given them as an ex-NBA player?
Well, I do to always end my conversations with them is do the right thing. I love you and do the right thing because you know what the right thing is and you know what the wrong thing is. When you start to do something that ain't right, we all know that you're going the wrong way. So I just always try to tell them do the right thing. I know who their friends are, right? So I talk to their friends and things like that. So I have a relationship with the people that they kick it with, right? And so that's the main thing to me is like I need to know who they rolling with, how are they rolling? And one of my sons told me it was a kid that they used to hang out with. It was like, oh yeah, you know, he got caught with a gun. I said, hey, stay away from his ass. You know what I mean? Do not be nowhere near him. He got no reason to be carrying. He lives in Scottsdale. Now, this is the thing, like when you want to be a gangster, you can't play that. That's for real. You can't just act that out and be like, okay, I'm gonna be a thug today, and then tomorrow I'm gonna be a schoolboy, then I'm gonna go be a hooper, and that it just don't work like that. And as much as we love the hip hop culture and things like that, I think that what happens is the music and the way you get perceived a certain way, and a certain way is perceived to be cool. When I think being a nerd is cool. You know what I mean? People talk about being a nerd. I think that's being cool. But the thing is that if you are playing professional basketball, they've done all their due diligence. There is not one gangster thug in the league. We are all basketball players. We all come from good places. Some have more struggle than others, but for the most part, we are all hoopers. And that's the reason why we are in the NBA. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in the league. They do their due diligence. They do background checks, family background checks. They do so much more digging than they did back in the day that there's not going to be nobody out there with no long, extensive criminal record that's thugging, carrying guns, carrying blades, raise whatever they got to have on them. None of that's out there. So Ja just need to message to Ja is just slow down, watch your circle, and talk to them and tell them like y'all are hurting my brand. And if they can't get along with that part, then they gotta get gone.
But Eddie, isn't that why we did what we did? Was to try to remove ourselves and get our family out of those type situations so we wouldn't have to be in that situation where you wouldn't have to do some of the things. And obviously everybody didn't do criminal activities, but you wanted to put your family in a better situation. I never wanted to be get 200 million and then I want to be hard. I'm about to be really soft. I'm about to have on
Yeah,
Versace, LB. I'm about to have mink slippers. I ain't trying to be hard no more. I was hard getting up out them fields. I ain't trying to be hard no more when I got $200 million in my bank account.
You want to know what's hard when you got money like that? Is having security, right? Not your boys, not your homeboys with pistols and beams and stuff like that. Hire you some security.
Yeah.
Look at what Floyd Mayweather walk around with big time security. Anybody that has big money like that, you are, number one, you're a target if you hanging out in traffic.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We see so many people get laid down and lose their life because they was out moving the wrong way, think they partners was their security. You got to get real security if you got big time money like that, and there's nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing soft about living. Believe that.
Real talk there.
Well said.
Absolutely. Wise words, Eddie. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man. Best of luck to your boss.